Hello! Welcome to piano today. I'm so glad that we have joined together today to learn a little bit more in our adult all-in-one book today. So, last lesson we were working on Scarborough Fair and the key of D minor, right? So we're going to do a quick review of that and then hop right into our primary chords in D minor. That's going to be great. But before we do that, if you could do a couple things for me, okay? Go ahead and like, share, and comment on this video. That helps me reach more people and lets me know exactly what I'm doing that is right and that you're enjoying. So make sure to do that for me, okay? Next, don't forget to subscribe, right? So there it is, la la. Subscribe on YouTube as well, so that way you understand exactly when your lessons are coming out, and so you can keep up with everything, all right? It's the best way to support me and the easiest thing that you can do, okay? All right. Next, don't forget to join our Discord server, okay? So this is for those students who are looking for a little bit of extra help joining our piano community that's super, super supportive and positive. You are divided into your classes, so you can go ahead and post videos of yourself playing your songs. You can get feedback from me, and if you need a little extra help, that's the place to ask, okay? So I'd love to see you in our Discord server, okay? The invitation link is down below in the description, and I would love to see you there, okay? Very good. And finally, I'm on Patreon, right? So Patreon is fantastic because that allows my fans and learners across the globe to support me financially every single month. I have very, very affordable tiers from $5 a month up to $20 a month that you get to decide and join to support this channel and keep me going, right? I have lots of bills to pay. I mean, it doesn't seem like it, but I do. So keeping all the software going, keeping all of the management tools that I've got here takes money. So any sort of help that you feel like giving me, I would really, really appreciate. My patrons are really the ones that make this channel happen. So give them a little round of applause. I'd love to see you on my patrons list too, okay? Wonderful. Let's get started. We are going to have a blast today. So if you recall, the key of D minor is the relative of F major, okay? So open your book to page 134, and let's look at that scale, okay? The D minor scale. It also has a B flat in the key signature, just like F major, but it sounds a little different, right? We've got... Right? That's the natural minor scale. Yeah. When we add the raised seventh tone, that turns it into the harmonic minor scale. And this is probably the one that you're most familiar of hearing. There it is, right? It adds a C sharp in there. Okay. Now, as you were practicing these past weeks on Scarborough Fair, you were introduced to these special tones in that D minor scale. So let's go ahead and go over Scarborough Fair and see how it's going, okay? All right, let's do it together. All right, so starting out, we know we're in 3/4 time. We do have some pedal in the entire song here. So I'm going to go ahead and put my right foot on my damper pedal. My left hand pinky finger 5 is on my D in the bass clef, and my right hand is on my finger 1, D in the treble clef, okay? Let's do an introduction and then we'll get started, okay? Let me count off. 1, 2, 3, ready, and play. And there you have it. There's Scarborough Fair. Nice work. Yes, so you notice I did not take that tempo very quickly at all. It does say moderately slow, so I wanted to really, really feel that tempo going through this whole piece, okay? How did you do on dynamics? Did you get those crescendos right in the right spot? I think I had a little trouble sometimes doing the crescendos and a little bit on the diminuendos. I felt like my dynamics were kind of constant throughout. So perhaps you did a better job than me. And if you did, bravo to you. I'm so proud of you. But overall, it's such a nice piece. So great work on this one. Let's turn the page and get into our new song for the week, okay? Here we go. All right, now on page 136, we have our primary chords, okay? Now we have encountered primary chords in nearly every key up until this point. C major, G major, F major, now A, and then A minor. Now we're in D minor, okay? There's a rhyme to this reason here, okay? So let's dive right in with the one chord, okay? So if we're in D minor, the one chord is also a minor chord, right? You'll see it notated here. Instead of a capital Roman numeral 1, they're using a lowercase I, minor 1, okay? So that's how they distinguish between major and minor when you're using your Roman numerals. If it's capital, it's major. If it's lowercase, it's minor, okay? So the minor 1 chord, the D minor, consists of your D, F, A, okay? Let me switch to piano view so you can watch these chords, okay? We'll do picture in picture so you can see me too. Hello. So our left hand at the top of 136, when we are notating our primary chords, our 1 chord, which is minor, consists of D, F, A. Now that sounds really familiar because that's what it was in Scarborough Fair. So let's hear it as a block chord. Very good. Now the next primary chord we're going to encounter is the G minor chord, which is the 4th tone of your D minor, and it's also going to be a minor 4. See, it's lowercase. So that means we're going to make that B in the G chord flat because that's what's in the key signature. Do you remember the key signature? You see the flat over there? Yes. Okay. So let's play the G minor 4. G, B flat, D. Now let's play it as a block. Okay. Now the 3rd primary chord we've got in D minor is going to be our very popular V7 chord. Okay. Now notice the V is capitalized. So that's telling us it's going to be major, okay? Now the 5th tone of your D minor scale is an A. So if it's a capital A, it's going to be major. So look at that. We have our A, but then in order to make it major, we have to do that raised 7th tone that we find in the harmonic minor scale. And we're going to play a C sharp. Then we add in our E, and to top it off, we have the 7, right? The 7th tone of that is a G. So let's play that broken. And then let's play it block. Very nice. Okay. Now, in order for us to make this easier for our hand to play, they have in the 2nd line of music here a cadence, a chord cadence. So we've got D minor, minor 1, then a minor 4, which is a G minor. Oops. Now, if you notice something, I played a B natural. That's not right. If we're playing a minor 4, we've got to put that B flat. So let's put a D, G, B flat. There it is. I knew my ears were working. And then finally, we've got our V7, a major A7 chord with a C sharp on the bottom, G and A. Very good. Now let's get familiar with that pattern here. D minor, G minor, V7, A7, A major. There we go. Let's try that again. D minor, G minor, A7. Very good. Now, moving on to the second half of that line there, that's the cadence that you can practice for your left hand. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3. Repeat. 1, 2, 3, G minor, D minor, then to A major 7. Very good. Now that's block chords, right? Now you can also play them broken. Now with the broken chord, it's fun because then you can really sort of inject a little personality into this, right? So down here, page 136, you see D minor progression with broken chords. D, F, A, D, G, B flat, D, F, A, C sharp, G, A. And then that pattern repeats itself as well, okay? That's gonna be your practice line, okay? I'm gonna switch back to just a single me. Hello. And looking here at our next song here, all right? I want you to grab your pencil for this part. Our song here is called Raisins and Almonds, which is a folk song. I think it's from Ireland, if I'm not mistaken. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments. But I think it's Irish. So, Raisins and Almonds. It's sort of used as like a lullaby, if I'm not mistaken, okay? Now, let's talk a little bit about this piece. 3/4 time, so 3 beats a measure. I see the key signature, there's a B flat there, right? Now, if there's a B flat in the key signature, remember, it can either be F major or the relative minor, which is D minor, which is what we've been learning, right? Now, if you come across a song that has a B flat in the key signature and you don't know if it's F major or D minor, look at the beginning opening chords or opening notes, and then look at the very end of the song. And we've got D, F, D. So I'm not seeing any F, A, Cs. So that's probably going to tell us that it's a D minor song, okay? That's the easiest way to figure it out, all right? So in this case, we are obviously in D minor because that's what we've been working on, okay? Now, to begin, we're going to start with the left hand, all right? Now, looking specifically at the left hand, let's look at the makeup of these broken chords. The very first opening chord in the left hand, I see D, F, A. Well, that looks familiar. That's our D minor 1 chord, okay? So when I see that repeating 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 measures in a row. That's not bad, okay? That means we've already learned a good chunk of this, right? So 8 measures in a row, we have a minor 1 chord. Go ahead and write a little Roman numeral I, and then you can draw sort of an arrow going through the first and second lines. Now, as we get through to the second line of the second page, or the third line overall, it changes, all right? The very first note I see there is a C sharp. That goes up to a G and then an A. Now, of our primary chords, the 1 chord, the 4 chord, or the V7, which one has a C sharp in it? If you said V7, you're right, okay? I see 2 measures on that line that are V7. So go ahead and write a V7. Moving on, the following 2 measures, I see DFA again. So we're back to the Roman numeral 1, D minor 1 chord, okay? I'll put a little I right there. Now the final measure of that line, it's different. Let's figure out those notes. D, then we go up a 4th to G, and then up a 3rd to a B flat. Ooh, okay. You see how there's no flat in front of that B? It's because it's implied from the key signature, okay? I drew in a flat anyway because I would probably forget, so draw in a little flat for yourself. And that chord in particular happens 1, 2 times in a row. And that one is our minor 4 chord, IV. Let's write that, IV. Okay. Now we're on the third line of the second page. Back to a 1 chord. I'm going to put a little Roman numeral I for 2 measures. Then I see 2 more measures of a V7. The next line has 2 more measures of a 1 chord, minor 1, and then 2 measures of a V7. Then I see 1, 2 of a 1 chord, then 2 of a V7. It does that pattern quite a bit. And then the final chord here, broken, is a D, F, A with a high D. So that's telling me that's ending on a 1 chord, okay? It's arpeggiated though, so it's going D, F, A, D on top, right? So we have solidly ended in D minor, okay? Now you've gotten all your left hand chords written in, don't you? Let's play the left hand of this whole piece now that we've done that, okay? After lots of practice with those chord cadences, this left hand should not be an issue at all. So let's give it a good try, okay? I'll switch to piano view and we'll get started. Okay. Raisins and almonds. I'm going to go ahead and put my right foot on that pedal as well, just to get in the habit of using it. I've got my pinky finger 5 on my D, and I'm already outlining my D minor 1 chord, okay? I'm going to count off. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, ready, play. Third measure, fourth measure, fifth measure, sixth, seventh, and eighth. Now we switch. V7. Again. Back to 1 chord. Here's the 4 chord. Again. Back to 1. V7 2 times. Back to 1 chord. V7 again, and a 1 chord 2 times. V7 and the outlined 1 chord with the arpeggio. And that's the end. All right, very good work on that, right? So, like I said, it's so important for us to practice those chord cadences so you get those notes solid in the left hand, okay? I love broken chords because I find them to be a lot, you can just interpret them a lot prettier. So I think you're gonna have a great time with those left hand primary chords that are broken, okay? We gotta learn the right hand though too, don't we? It's not just the left hand. So here with the right hand in Raisins and Almonds, we have an incomplete measure to begin the piece. We have 2 pickup notes in D minor, okay? So I will go through this, paying close attention to the rhythm. I'll say some notes, but I want you to really pay attention to how those notes fall on the treble staff, okay? There are some position changes, so don't get comfortable just in one spot. You're gonna have to move around, okay? Let's give it a try. All right. So starting here at the beginning, I see a 1, 3 on D and F. Well, that's nice because that's the key that we're in, all right? Let me give a count off and I'll say some spotty notes in there and I'll remind you of some of those flats and sharps when they come up, okay? Here we go. 1, 2, 3, go. D, F, A. Hold. G, F, G, A. 3, 1. D, F, A. Hold. 2, 3, tie. 2. A, E, 2, 3. B flat, B flat, B flat, C sharp, D down to A. 2, 3 and tie. 2, 3 down to E. Hold. F, G. Tie. 2, 3 up to A. Hold. A, G and C sharp, B flat, A and F and D. That's a 6. 2. Hold. 2, 3. Now we go up the octave. A, hold. A, G and C sharp, B flat, A, F and D. 6. 2. Tie. And then we've got a fermata at the end. Very nice. Now you'll notice there at the very end, the final 4 measures of the piece are nearly identical to the previous 4 measures before it, but the right hand is just being played an octave higher, okay? So if you have any doubts of those notes high up there with the ledger lines are the little teeny tiny lines that look like they're floating little steps above the staff. Just look at the 4 measures before it for your note name help, and then you just play it an octave higher than what you see in those previous measures, okay? Let's go over those sections again. Just starting on 1, 2, 3, 4. The 4th line of the 2nd page, the 1, 2, 3, the 3rd measure, okay? Where it says, oh, that dear memory. All right, let's try the right hand again, okay? Here we go. So I'm starting there with a finger 2 on my A, all right, and I'm going to count off. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, ready, and play. 2, 3, and tie. 2, 3, up the octave. 2, 3, and fermata. Okay? Very good. It's a really nice song when we put it hands together. So let's give ourselves the chance to do just that, okay? I'll play through Raisins and Almonds, hands together, all right? I'll do it pretty slowly because it's a moderate tempo. I will also try my best to do the overlapping pedal correctly, right? You see, sometimes there's these little hiccups in the pedal line. That's when you're going to clear out the chord before that marking, but then keep the pedal pressed down, okay? It's not a rigid pedal lift during the entire song. So you're going to be doing this overlapping pedal pattern through the entire piece. You won't actually lift your foot all the way until the end of the song. So that's a big deal, okay? Now, dynamics, we're starting with a nice mezzo forte, okay? Not too loud, but not too soft either, okay? Looking here at the 2nd line of the 2nd page, we have a small crescendo and then a little bit more crescendo. And then it diminuendos back into that sweet as raisins section, okay? And then the climax of the song is going to happen on the 2nd page, 4th line, crescendoing into that dear memory section. You know the part that we just played again with the right hand? And then it peaks and goes diminuendo as we play up the octave, okay? It's got a lot of really cool drama and stuff like that happening. Just make sure that you're doing it sweetly and quietly and calmly, okay? There's no craziness happening in this song. It's gentle, okay? Let's give it a try. All right, here we go. Here's Raisins and Almonds. there's raisins and almonds. It's fun, right? It's a very pretty piece. And as you're reading the lyrics, you can see why they chose this one as a lullaby, right? It's not meant to be a loud piece. It's meant to put children to sleep, basically. When I was a tiny sleepyhead, Mama gently would tuck me into bed and sing of raisins and almonds and the sweet years to be. Sweet as raisins and almonds. Oh, that dear memory. Oh, that dear memory. It's beautiful, right? Well, I hope you enjoyed today's lesson. It was fun. I had a good time today. I hope you are going to very much drill those primary chords in D minor. Remember, minor 1, minor 4, and a major V7, right? It's very, very important to learn those chords as you are progressing in your keys, okay? I'm proud of you. You've done a great job. So, to end our lesson, of course, we do a music quote. So let me go ahead and do that. Our music quote today comes from Richard Powers, an American novelist. And this is what he says. The use of music is to remind us how short a time we have a body. It's actually true, right? So we're on this earth for a finite amount of time, right? And music itself, it moves us. It really gets us to feel things a lot more strongly than anything else. So music reminds us that life is short and we should definitely make use of the time that we've got here. So I hope you enjoyed that one. We had a great time today at piano. Don't forget to subscribe. Consider joining Patreon. Again, you guys are the ones that really, really help support this. None of this would be possible without my patrons, so I'm eternally grateful to you for signing up on there, okay? Have a lovely time practicing. If you need help, hop on Discord, and I'll see you all later, okay? Take care. Bye.